AITA for refusing to let my parents meet my 3-week-old daughter after they announced her name at a family gathering without my permission, ordered personalized gifts with that name, and told everyone I was being dramatic when I said we'd already chosen a different name. I, 28F, gave birth to my first child 3 weeks ago. My husband, 30M, and I had been talking about names throughout the pregnancy, and we settled on the name Iris May about 2 months before she was born. We loved it, it felt perfect for her, and May was my husband's grandmother's middle name, which made it even more special to us. Here's where things get complicated. My parents, especially my mom, had been pushing their own name suggestions throughout my entire pregnancy. My mom wanted us to name the baby either Dorothy, her mother's name, or Christine, her own middle name. Every time we talked on the phone or visited, she'd bring it up. Have you thought more about Dorothy? It's such a classic name. Or Christine would be so beautiful, and it would mean so much to me. I tried to be polite but firm, telling her repeatedly that we appreciated her input, but that my husband and I would be making the final decision together. My dad was less vocal about it, but he'd chime in occasionally with comments like, "Your mother really has her heart set on this," or "It would make her so happy." I understood they were excited about their first grandchild, but the constant pressure was exhausting. I'm not exaggerating when I say my mom brought up Dorothy, or Christine, in literally every single conversation we had during my 3rd trimester. When I went into labor, it happened pretty fast. We called my parents from the hospital to let them know, and they wanted to come immediately. I told them we'd let them know when we were ready for visitors, because we wanted some time alone with the baby first. My mom seemed hurt, but she agreed. We spent the first 2 days in the hospital bonding with Iris, and it was honestly magical. We were exhausted, but so in love with this tiny person we'd created. On day 3, we finally felt ready for visitors. My parents came to the hospital, and I could tell my mom was trying to hide how emotional she was. She cried when she held Iris for the first time, which made me tear up too. Everything seemed fine. They stayed for about an hour, cooing over the baby, taking pictures, asking how I was feeling. Not once during that visit did they ask what we'd named her. I thought it was a little odd, but I was so tired that I didn't think much of it. When they left, my mom kissed my forehead and said, "We are so proud of you." We went home the next day, and the first week was a blur of sleepless nights, diaper changes, and trying to figure out how to keep a tiny human alive. My parents texted regularly asking for updates and photos, which I sent when I had the energy. They still hadn't asked about her name, which I found increasingly strange, but again, I was too exhausted to dwell on it. Then, about 10 days after Iris was born, my mom called and asked if they could host a small family gathering to celebrate the baby. She said she wanted to introduce Iris to some extended family members, my aunts, uncles, and a few cousins. I was hesitant because I was still recovering and overwhelmed, but my husband encouraged me, saying it might be nice to have help and support. We agreed, and my parents scheduled it for the following weekend at their house. The day of the gathering, we arrived at my parents' house around noon. There were about 15 people there, close family members we hadn't seen in a while. Everyone was excited, crowding around to see the baby, asking to hold her. It was a little overwhelming, but people were kind and respectful, so it was manageable. Then things took a bizarre turn. About an hour into the gathering, my mom clinked her glass to get everyone's attention. She was standing near the dining room table, which I suddenly noticed was decorated with pink balloons and a banner. My dad was next to her, grinning. My stomach dropped because I had a bad feeling about what was coming. My mom announced, "We are so thrilled to officially introduce you all to our granddaughter, Dorothy Christine." She said it with such pride and finality, like it was already decided. People started clapping and congratulating us, and I just stood there in complete shock, holding Iris. My husband's face went pale. He looked at me, and I could see he was just as blindsided as I was. I tried to speak, but my voice came out shaky. "Mom, what are you talking about? Her name isn't Dorothy Christine." The room went quiet. My mom's smile faltered for just a second before she laughed it off. "Oh, honey, don't be silly. We talked about this. Dorothy was always the plan." I felt my face get hot. "No, we never agreed to that. We named her Iris May. I've told you multiple times that we were choosing the name ourselves." My mom's expression shifted to something between confusion and annoyance. "Iris? That's not even a real name. We thought you were joking about that." At this point, my dad stepped in. "We've already told everyone her name is Dorothy. Let's not make a scene." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My husband finally spoke up, his voice tight. "We named our daughter Iris. That's her name. It's on her birth certificate." My mom's face crumpled. "But I've already ordered so many things with Dorothy on them. A personalized blanket, a Christmas stocking, even a little name sign for her nursery. This is so embarrassing." I was stunned. "You ordered personalized items without even asking us what we named her." She waved her hand dismissively. "I thought you'd come to your senses." The room was dead silent. A few family members were staring at their plates, clearly uncomfortable. One of my aunts tried to lighten the mood by saying, "Well, Iris is a lovely name too," but my mom shot her a look that could kill. I was shaking at this point, a mix of postpartum hormones and genuine anger. "We are leaving," I said. I started gathering our things, the diaper bag, Iris's blanket, her pacifier. My husband was already heading for the door with the car seat. My mom grabbed my arm. "You're overreacting. This is supposed to be a celebration." I pulled away from her. "You announced a name for my baby without my permission. You ordered personalized gifts. You ambushed us in front of the entire family. How is that not overstepping?" My dad tried to play peacemaker. "Your mother just got excited. She didn't mean any harm. Can't we all just calm down and enjoy the day?" But I was done. "No, Dad. This isn't about excitement. This is about respect. You don't get to name our child." We left. My husband drove home in silence while I cried in the passenger seat, holding Iris's car seat. When we got home, I blocked both my parents' numbers. I needed space to process what had just happened. Over the next few days, I was flooded with messages from extended family members. Some were supportive, saying my parents were out of line. Others said I was being too sensitive, and that my mom just wanted to feel included. My mom's sister, my Aunt Carol, called and said, "Your mother spent hundreds of dollars on those personalized items. The least you could do is consider using Dorothy as a middle name." I couldn't believe people were defending this. My husband was furious too. He said, "They literally tried to rename our child. How is that not insane?" I agreed, but part of me felt guilty. Was I overreacting? My mom did seem genuinely hurt, and I know she's always been a little controlling, but she's also been excited about being a grandmother for years. A week after the incident, my dad showed up at our house unannounced. I answered the door with Iris in my arms, and he immediately tried to apologize. "Your mother is devastated. She hasn't stopped crying. She just wanted to honor her own mother's memory. Can't you understand that?" I told him I understood wanting to honor family, but that didn't give her the right to override our decision. He sighed. "She's already returned most of the personalized items. Can't we move past this? She just wants to see her granddaughter." I told him I needed more time, and he left looking defeated. That night, I got a long text from my mom. It was a mixture of apology and defensiveness. She said she was sorry for surprising us, but that she thought we'd appreciate the gesture. She said she felt excluded from the whole pregnancy, and that naming the baby Dorothy would have made her feel like she mattered. She ended with, "I'm your mother. I gave you life. Don't I deserve some say in my granddaughter's name?" That last line made me so angry. No, she doesn't get a say. It's not her baby. But now I'm questioning myself, because my husband thinks we should keep our distance until my parents genuinely apologize and show they understand boundaries. Some of my friends think I should let it go because family is family, and my parents are otherwise good people who just made a mistake. It's been 3 weeks since Iris was born, and my parents still haven't met her outside of that one hospital visit. My mom has sent a few more texts, mostly about how hurt she is and how she can't believe I'm being kept from my grandchild. My dad keeps saying I'm punishing them too harshly for one mistake. But here's the thing, it doesn't feel like one mistake. It feels like the culmination of months of boundary pushing and disrespect. They ignored what we wanted, made a unilateral decision about our child, and then tried to publicly pressure us into going along with it. And when we stood our ground, they made themselves the victims. I'm exhausted, emotionally drained, and honestly heartbroken that what should have been a joyful time has turned into this mess. I love my parents, but I also need to protect my daughter and set boundaries for our family. My husband is fully supportive of whatever I decide, but is also dealing with his own anger toward my parents. So, Reddit, AITA for not letting my parents meet my newborn after they tried to name the baby without asking me. Should I give them another chance? Or am I right to hold firm on this boundary?